Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Fuck you, fucking Star Wars.
Well, hello everybody to another episode of Half a Clue TV Review. Today on this episode, we're going to cover the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Season 1? Is it season 1? I hope it's like a mini-series and that's it.
Me too. We are treading into dangerous waters, my friend. There's nothing that ignites more passion and furious hatred and love than Star Wars. So maybe Star Trek, but I think Star Wars just on just a numbers basis just outranks in terms of just how many fucking people are invested in this whatever.
The only thing that beats them out is Stargate.
They are the only nerd cult that could ever be louder than any political rally that I've been to. Star Wars.
No, that's why there's a saying that no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. But it's also what's kind of beautiful about it, though. Honestly, like I've said this before, that like what I love about Star Wars in terms of just like a franchise is that there are people who solely love and are emotionally invested and connected to the prequels. And to those people, that is their Star Wars, and you know, everything else can, you know, screw off, whatever. There's people who Old Republic, that's all there is. There's people whose original trilogy, that is the only real Star Wars, and people who love and defend the sequel trilogy. And so it's like that you can find your Star Wars love anywhere, whether it's comic books, whether it's the, you know, the live action series, the animated series. There's a place for you in the Star Wars universe, but be prepared to be hated on by somebody.
Yeah, it's such a big cult that there's sub-cults. There's a section within the cult.
Yeah, people are like, I'm only into Legends. And it's like, okay, that's cool.
But, you know, there's only one true cult, which is the Filoni cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least he's the most consistent. He's still around.
I will say.
Even Lucas is not around.
He's pretty consistent. We'll give him that.
See, I'm in the fortunate cult of one, where I'm the only person in the world who thinks that Solo, a Star Wars story, is the greatest Star Wars film.
No, that is wrong.
Oh,
there are actual like super Solo stands out there.
God
Really?
damn it!
There is.
I wanted to be special.
I'm sorry, you can. I'm not even joking.
Sorry. In Star Wars, there is no such thing as individuality.
No, there isn't. Okay. No, I'm not even joking. I have cousins. I like on Reddit, or there's a group of people that think Solo is the best thing that Disney's done. In terms of movies, I say that's Rogue One, even though I didn't like Rogue One that much, but at least that one doesn't break or fuck up with canon.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's good that they fucked up canon.
Yeah,
canon wasn't good to begin with.
This is a landmark episode, I think, in this podcast. This is the first time we are really officially talking Star Wars, so I just felt like that was a good intro for us to get into this, and I'm excited because I do love Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Because I will say, I'm one of those people who's personally invested in Star Wars. I grew up with the prequels. They're definitely not my favorite part of Star Wars, but like they are definitely a part of me, and so is the rest of the Star Wars mythos. So I'm excited.
Except the sequels.
Yeah, well, that's where we get into the subdivisions of Star Wars
fandom. I'll say this: after the Disney Plus series, I feel like there has been, at least on the end when it comes to, like, somehow Star Wars fandom has been united.
Yeah. Until Boba Fett came out, and then suddenly now it's ripping itself apart again.
Yeah, not as bad as sequels, but like there's
nothing I think can really match the toxicity of the sequel trilogy and also the prequels. Like people forget the prequels were a bloodbath, and so
ask Simon Pegg.
Yeah,
ask Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that's just because people didn't understand the prequels. I mean,
we can't get too into it.
Okay, let's get in.
Jar Jar Binks was the greatest thing to ever happen in Star Wars. People just didn't get him, and
if they
it was so
went
sad.
through with Darth Jar Jar, maybe.
Yes.
Well, let's continue. All right, so Book of Boba Fett picks up directly after the season 2 stinger that Boba kills Bib Fortuna and takes over the palace and the throne that once belonged to Jabba the Hutt. And now he's going to be Boba Fett, the new daimyo of the place. But he did it. He didn't become Boba Hutt or anything like that.
No, he's doing it his own way, dude.
Yeah. Because in the trailer, when they said, like, I want to rule, instead of through fear, I want to rule through respect. I was like, oh, shit. Fuck, yes. I'm excited. And then, no. Like it wasn't.
It's not really. No one respects him. Like, I mean, it takes a while.
He's a Trump.
I mean, eventually he gets respect, but whatever. We'll get into it.
Right.
Let's get
So
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. So Boba Fett is played by the main two characters. Is Boba Fett, played by Tamara Morrison, and Fennec Shan, who is a lethal assassin, played by Ming-Na Wen, who voiced Mulan. Amazing. Was in Agents of Shield. I love her. She's amazing. And Tamara Morrison is great too. He played the original Jango Fett.
When will Boba's reflection show who he really is inside? That's what I'm waiting to see, you know.
When the lizard gets in his nose.
Best
All right, so
part of the show.
Exactly. Not gonna lie, but okay.
Again, we'll get it.
Okay, so it's in 7 episodes. It's breaking down into this weird thing. 1 through 2 are the flashback episodes. Number 3 is the Power Ranger episode. Number 4 is another flashback episode, but with Boba and Fennec. And 5 and 6 is when it's not a Boba show.
When the show takes off, you mean?
Yeah, the best episodes of the show are the Mandalorian episodes.
Hey, look, it's Mando.
Yeah, and it goes back to 7, which is the back to Power Rangers or Spike.
That you know what though? Okay, honestly, I just want to jump in on this. The whole Power Rangers episode and everything. That's insulting to Power Rangers because at least the Power Rangers had some cool mech machines and rides that they're on, and also they have martial arts and sparks. These guys suck.
Oh,
they are the
Discount.
C-class version of Power Rangers. It's embarrassing, man.
Yeah, or I like to call them, or some other people have like to call them Mos Espa Vespas.
Exactly.
All right, so the first episode, Stranger in a Strange Land. For summary, I just put I hate Rhodians, which is because a Rhodian guy just ratted out Boba Fett as he's trying to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically the whole thing is a flashback episode. It shows how Boba gets out of the Sarlacc pit, which he just burned his way through. Just lame, whatever.
I mean,
it's cool.
Makes sense. I'll say it makes sense.
I was expecting more. Well, you be honest. You expected more, right? At least something.
I was expecting more, I suppose, but I was also thinking like we don't need to really see this, right? Like, do we really need to see Boba crawling out of here? I mean, really, we could have just.
I think yes, because it's in such a highly demanded thing within like
to see him.
For fans.
Patton Oswalt already told us what happened. It's fine.
And exactly what happened.
We moved on. We understood. We saw him in Mandalorian. We're like, oh fuck, he's out. That's awesome.
Patton Oswalt, could you ever come on Half a Clue? I want to hear
Jesus, dude, that'd be so
that would be
cool.
amazing. I love Patton Oswalt. I would love to hear his reaction to this series.
Yeah.
And give us one of those like rants that you did in Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, the filibuster.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, we'll just poke him with a stick. Do a rant.
He even had a better pitch for Unbreakables than what we actually got with Glass.
No, he's a fantastic writer. He's awesome.
But yeah, basically that's happened, and he got captured by Tusken Raiders and becomes Dances with the Wolves from chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land, to the Tribes of Tatooine.
Yeah, it's like episode 1 and 2. Really, episode 1 was a pretty weak start.
Yeah,
like
it was only 30 minutes.
Yeah, it barely shows really anything of where he's at, showing a little bit more of where he was, and that's fine. I think they should have like put that off until like episode 2 or 3 to like, but basically to establish what he's doing right now and why it's so important, why we should be invested in what's happening in the present day rather than just like, oh, look, this is how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. This is what, he choked out a monster or whatever. It's like, that's fine. But honestly, that's one of the main faults with the show is that eventually the past becomes more interesting than what's going on in the present.
Yes.
And it starts episode 1.
To be fair, if it hadn't been so short, I wouldn't have even finished that episode. So
did you finish the episode? You told me you turned it off or something.
No, I finished the first episode. I paused it. And I was like, okay, there's only 5 minutes left. Fine, I'll get through this.
Oh my god!
and then I turned it off after.
Yeah, I thought like even editing was so messy. If this gets best editing at any TV Association Awards, that is a joke. This show is a joke.
Don't do it.
I thought it would have been better if it was like it basically as you said, it was either this. Episode 1 was like, he started a little bit with the president. It was like episode 1 and 2 was combined into one episode. It was just about his past.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or episode 1 is all present. And episode 2 is a longer extended episode all about his past, like him in the back of the tank.
Yeah, because I'll say it like in episode 1, I was like, wow, I don't really care to see him like get like surviving with the Tuskens and whatever. I was like, that's not really interesting until episode 2, and then I was like, okay, you know what? This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the song like the whole thing with like him bonding and getting the melons and also like learning their fighting style.
Yeah.
And that was cool, like seeing their actual like. Well, I wonder if this is a Filoni thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if Filoni was. I feel like there's some things like it feels like this is a Filoni thing. Like he came in, it's like this is what I think the Tusken Raiders are doing. This is what I think how they drink and survive and stuff like that. Because Jon Favreau is not that detail oriented in none of his stuff. I'm sorry, John. I like you. I liked your interpretation of Jungle Book. I liked Elf. That's maybe Iron Man 1. Yeah.
What was not Zathura? I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was Zathura. He did Zathura.
Was it Zathura?
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did like that one.
For some reason, I was confusing it with Bridge of Terabithia, but that's
no,
there.
No. Whoa.
No, Zathura.
Zathura. That was the Jumanji.
It's in the same. No, it's actually technically in the same universe as Jumanji.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it for real?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. We're not talking
about
about
Zathura. It was
Zathura.
like a remake of Jumanji when I first saw it.
It's in the same. Okay, we'll talk about it. It's like an off.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
we'll
but like episode 2,
but he's not that detail oriented, Jon Favreau.
No, and I like that these show the origin of their staffs and everything, how they go like their spirit journey, that the weird lizard thing. I was like, that's
dope.
great. Yeah, it's Star Wars is always great when it goes weird.
That's his only character development was in episode 2.
Yes,
that's
exactly. Because it's really like, because that was my issue too with episode 1. I was like, why is Boba acting like such a little punk? Why isn't he actually like, being this like masterful crime lord? He's like, no, I want to be like a nice guy now. And it's like, what? Like where did that come from? It really, because in Mandalorian, you were slaughtering stormtroopers. Like,
I know, he stabbed them. Like he had this.
He was bashing their heads in with their staff. Like it was brutal, and it was like, this is sweet. Like I want to see this more.
And he fought with one of the Mandalorians at the bar.
Yeah. And it was really badass. Like he was all like, he had walking around like he has a chip on his shoulder. Like I went out like a bitch in Return of the Jedi. Like I got a statement to make. I'm badass. And then he comes into this show, and then suddenly he's like, no, I'm nice now. And it's like, what? Like why? And then I guess they took the time to explain it in episode 1 and 2.
But then that contradicts what happens in Mandalorian season 2.
Exactly. Where it's like, okay, fine. I'm okay with Boba becoming like a nicer dude. Like, I mean, does it feel like they're really just trying to shave off those edges because, it's Disney? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, we can't have a main show, like, an episode revolve around a bad guy. It's like, why not?
Like, really, he's not even that bad. He's morally gray at best.
That would be great, but no. Instead, it's like, no, he's got to be nice now.
We all know
he's a pacifist.
At first,
Boba Fett is a pacifist. What?
It makes no sense. It's like this. It's easy. What happened? Season 1 and 2 was with the help of Dave Filoni. Yeah. I think this is like Dave Filoni was only in like 1 or 2 episodes.
But besides it, kind of just trying to. You have to kind of just put what happened in Mandalorian out of your mind to just enjoy this one, which is annoying because obviously we'll get into that what happens later in the show. But they'd refuse to keep it a Boba Fett show. They're just like, no, this is like not going well, but whatever. I was okay with him like becoming a nicer person while he was inside of like the Tusken society. Him like learning to like, basically just to trying to change his ways. He just luckily for him, he was captured by the nicest Tuskens. Because I feel like, because they make a point of saying that too, where like other Tuskens are like way harsher than them, because Tuskens have been shown to be pretty like hardcore, and they still are, but like they're nicer. And it's like,
aren't they supposed to be like borderline sun mad from just being out in the sun?
Well, not necessarily.
All the time?
No, not necessarily. But there's like different tribes of Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, there's different tribes, and also like how they're
Mandalorian.
Just
we talked about it
exactly, and also just the way that they're like interpreted by other people is like they're just different. They have like they live off of a brutal society. Let's be honest, they're basically the Fremen from Dune.
Yeah, so Fremen for Dune or
like,
Native Americans.
Yeah, and it's like, so it's just they live differently. Their culture's different, so they just like they live out in the desert, so it's harsh. So only like the strong can survive. Yada yada. Whatever. The point is that it was. I think it was executed fairly well in this episode. I was like, okay, cool. I can see why Boba like decides to become like a nicer guy. And let's move on to episode 3.
The Mos Espa Vespa episode. The Streets of Mos Espa. And it's crazy. Yeah, it's the first 3 episodes directed by Robert Rodriguez. He's only directed 1 good episode out of this entire series. Actually, no, the first 4 episodes. Oh, wow. Actually, no, 5 out of... Okay, I'm just seeing this. I hate you, Robert. 5 episodes of the series is directed by him.
No, wait. Of this one? No, it's only 4.
What's called? Oh, wait, by the way. On the notes, it actually should be directed by Dave Filoni for Chapter 6 and written by Jon Favreau on Dave Filoni.
Okay.
Yeah, what's it called? This is leftover from previous notes.
I can't believe you did this.
I know. What's it called? Okay, so or I got to double check, but
No, I'm pretty sure Filoni did that one. Yeah, because it's again we'll get
Yeah.
into why.
but what's it called? With chapter 3, the Mos Espa Vespa episode, it's now a little less flashback scenes, and it's more into the present storyline, where he's actually trying to establish a stronghold within Mos Espa and his little part of Tatooine that he's working through. And it's kind of okay. Like, you see Jennifer Beals' character, the Twi'lek, who owns the bar.
Yeah.
And then, Black, and he has an incident with Black Chrysanthemum, and he's Jabba the Hutt twins.
He's introduced here, which again, they introduced the twins in episode 2, and in this one you get to see them do a little bit more, but essentially...
And they just leave after that.
They just leave.
I first went down, I was like, oh shit, is Boba just going to straight up assassinate the Hutts?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Like how a Godfather or crime show should be, where they're just kind of attacking, but I don't know.
They're just like, actually, you know what? We're out of here, dude.
Yeah.
We're over this. This show doesn't seem to be going anywhere good, so we're on gonna hit the road.
That's
dude.
exactly
You
what
want
it
a
is.
Rancor? You want a baby Rancor? Because here it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. They were like, yeah, here's a gift. And they were just there to set up the Rancor plot twist to bring Prince Santon in.
Yeah, and they're also like, oh yeah, here's also Chrysanthemum. You just, you can have him as well.
And then we get introduced to the Mos Espa Vespas with by the way, they had Stephen Root, his character who owns water. I think it was Lortha Peel. He comes in. I was like, oh, Stephen Root's in here from Barry. I liked him.
Oh yeah.
And then he's talking about like the how
He's a fantastic actor.
yeah, and he's talking about how this Mos Espa Vespas have been taking his water, stealing water for him, and then can you go and enact justice and establish your presence as daimyo. And he goes in and he sees the Mos Espa Vespas. Never seen them fight. They look kind of like a bunch of punks with like droid enhancements. Immediately he's like, join my team. What?
Yeah, really. Why the hell would he ask these like young punks to join his team? Makes no sense. I mean, there's so many issues with these characters. Just like the fact that they feel so out of place here. Like they look like they're from like Coruscant or some other planet where it's just like a city or something. Their wardrobe feels completely off. One of them's wearing like a Star Wars-y kind of suit. The other one's wearing like literally just like a studded leather jacket. And it's like, have we ever seen anybody wear a fucking studded leather jacket in Star Wars? If we have, please let me know in the comments. Like, correct me. I don't mind. But also, it feels incredibly out of place. And also, whose character, by the way, Drash, which is played by Sophie Thrasher, who is awesome on Yellow Jackets, but just not given anything really good to work with here. I don't know. I like her as an actress. She's fantastic, but she was doing this British accent, which was like completely out of nowhere, and that just feels like a weird like thing that's like in canon or in the universe, because I don't know of any other British characters that are from Tatooine. Because at first I thought like, okay, it's fine. She's from some other planet. That's a little off, but like whatever. It doesn't really feel out of place here. But people come and go. But then no, she literally establishes in the last episode like, oh no, I grew up around the corner. I'm actually from Tatooine. And it's like, what? Like then it makes even less sense. I don't know.
Well, maybe there's like an enclave on Tatooine, in the...
No, there isn't.
No. Well, they show they're part of like the mods. Like that's their like little group name, and they're basically like Thundercat goes and like modifies them, and they're like all like cybernetic punk kids, and that's okay. I'm fine with them being like cyberpunk kids. Like that's awesome. But the fact that they're just like the aesthetic, the rest of their aesthetic, you can have it work in there. Like cybernetics and like cyborgs and stuff have been a part of Star Wars since like pretty much the beginning, right? At the very least, like Empire Strikes Back. So it can be worked in there pretty seamlessly, and somehow it was not. The seams were extremely visible. They were coming apart. I was like, what? But whatever. They are far from like the biggest issue in the show. Honestly, the biggest issues for me were just thematically, story structure.
Thematically, story structure. Oh, I'm like, I'm just trying to speed run this because I have so much to bitch about the last episode.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing with I guess and another thing with chapter 3 was like it had one of the worst and slowest chase scenes of all time.
Yeah. We've seen speeder bikes. We've seen like the first like Republic generation speeder bikes, which are badass. In the prequels, we've seen the Empire generation ones, which are like they used in this show earlier, which was the train robbery episode, which was really fun. That was actually pretty well done. I liked it. That was cool because nothing like a crime syndicate robbing a train. In this case, it was a tribe of Tuskens robbing a train, which was still cool. And somehow, I don't know, that was pretty much it. It didn't feel that momentum did not carry over into the rest of the season. Especially with that, like it's weird to have that like juxtaposed against the the Vespa chasing in the city, which felt so lame.
Oh, brief correction. The episode that I did like, episode 2, with the flashback, was directed by Steph Green. And the episode we're talking about right now with the Mos Espa Vespas
was Robert Rodriguez.
It was Robert Rodriguez. Yeah. So it seems like all the episodes I don't like are from Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah,
it seems
really.
Like a growing trend.
It's all 3 episodes are the worst in the series. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately,
which is crazy because he directed the tragedy in the Boba Fett episode in season 2, which I really liked.
Yeah,
and I don't know what happened, but whatever. So, and yeah, pretty much I think we talked about it. Do you guys think? Going back to flashbacks, do you think that was the right approach? Kind of. I know we were to talk about the structuring was weird, right?
Of what?
Of like having flashbacks at all. Do you think they should have just not had flashbacks at all?
I think there should have been like an episode where they basically focus on the flashbacks of him, living with the Tuskens. That should have been the first episode. Basically combine chapters 1 and 2, have them like, establish more of what's happening on Tatooine and, him like dealing with the Hutts and everything. And then, establish the what's it called? Oh my God, what are they called? The fish people, the Pike Syndicate.
Oh, the Pike Syndicate.
Also in episode 2, so basically like with any kind of crime drama, you have to understand the players. You have to understand who's involved, what are their strengths and their weaknesses, what are their
relationship to the other groups and stuff like that.
Exactly. What are their stakes in this game? What are they really trying to get out of it? And it's like the Hutt are trying to reestablish themselves. The Pikes are trying to get money and whatever. And then like, what's Boba trying to do? He's trying to like basically help the townspeople essentially. And it's like, whatever. That's fine. But like, okay, let's get this going. But no, you don't really get any of that. It's just kind of like spattered throughout like the first half of the season. And then eventually once you kind of get it, like the Hutts just fuck off. They're just like, never mind. We don't care anymore.
And the resolution to the whole political gang aspect is so underwhelming.
Yeah.
But we'll get to in the last episode. Yeah, with episode 3, it ends with the Pikes coming and stuff like that. The Mos Espa Vespas, the chase scene. And Chrysanthemum, what do you think? I think because in the comics I remembered, and in the extended lore, he's just a lot more terrifying, a lot more powerful.
Yeah,
and like he rips people's arms off. He should have torn Boba apart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really. To catch Boba like kind of just naked sleeping in his bath tank.
Oh yeah, how did that fucking happen?
I don't know. Somehow that big ass Wookiee just like slipped his way into the palace. But to be fair, it seems like there's like 4 people in that palace.
But it contradicts what he says at the last episode where he's like, "We should go to the palace. It's well protected.
Yeah,
it's well guarded."
It's like, really? Because Chrysanthemum just got in there pretty easily, and now you got Cad Bane trying to come after you, and you're just like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Whatever. No,
and he was beat by the Mos Espa Vespas.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Talk about insult to injury. Like, Black Chrysanthemum should have, like, exactly, he should have been tearing people apart. We should have seen him rip the arms off of, like, at least 2 of the Vespa people, and then, like, throwing them through windows and outside of the palace windows, but...
They have droid arms, so you could do it. I know you guys have a thing about actual human limbs getting ripped apart, which I understand because it's not Disney Plus. But droid, that's fine. You guys done it before.
Exactly. They got mods. Show them like ripping out their droid guts. Exactly. But nah.
It's like this whole series feels like Godfather Light, but with no sugar. You know what I mean?
No.
No, I'm saying like light. Like it's like it's like a really bad light. It's Diet like Coke Zero version of Godfather.
It's like how people say like what is it like what's that sugar replacement?
Oh,
Splenda.
It's Splenda or Stevia or some shit.
They say that gives you like brain damage or something. Or I don't know if that's true or not. But
it probably is.
I mean, this show actually did feel like
it's the Splenda version.
Yeah. What's it called?
I don't know if that's true or not. Don't sue me, Splenda.
And let's get into episode 4, and which I would like to just say is Ming-Na Wen is the secret MVP of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her character is the most useful, and she has like the smartest things to say. Like, are we really not going to use the spice trade? Are we really going to end it? The money we make?
Yeah.
Sometimes fear is better, Boba. Like, let's not be a dumbass. You know what I mean?
For real.
Like, maybe we should just take them out. Hey, Boba, right?
Yeah.
We're actually criminals.
Yeah. How about you act like a crime lord?
Yeah. And then I honestly, if somehow, like, at one point I was like, if Boba dies and it's just a Fennec Shan show, I would have been totally fine.
Yeah, I think honestly, with this Boba, this version of Boba that they're showing, like I would have loved to see a Boba Fett show, but it felt like that's not what we got. Man, it feels like we got something completely different. And I'm really trying not to sound like I'm acting like I'm coming off like I hated the show much more than I did. There's a lot of stuff I did like in it. Like I said, like the whole Tusken stuff, the Raiders, the train robbery, that was cool.
That's all in one episode.
Yeah, Fennec was great. But no, let's go more into episode 4, the Gathering Storm.
So this is a episode where it shows how Fennec Shand and Boba Fett became a duo, a crime duo.
Yeah.
And this was nice. We saw a little bit more of Fennec Shand, and we saw more of her abilities and how she got recovered after Boba found her. And seeing them bond was relatively nice. And this episode was nearly bulletproof up until the moment where he has a little bit of a Looney Tunes moment where he tries to chase a animated droid and say, "I am Boba Fett. I am Boba Fett." And
the thing is, it's like the cool part of that is that they had like practical little like puppet robots and stuff, and I was like, "This is great."
But why? But why? But why?
Did it feel unnecessary and kind of silly? Yeah, but like I don't know, that part I was like, I'm okay with this.
Did we?
Him choking out a little rabbit droid that's only there to like catch rats and stuff.
But
like,
didn't he literally say a scene before? It is better for people to think I am dead.
Yeah.
And then he grabs a fucking robot and says, "I am Boba Fett."
That's true.
What happened? I thought you tried to be inconspicuous.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Because Jon Favreau just doesn't give a fuck about details. John, you lost me here. But yeah, but that part was what's it called? That episode was overall nice. It had a nice look to it. It had no mustache of Vespa, so it's already immediately 3,000% better.
They go back to the Sarlacc pit, which again, I'm like,
that was stupid too.
Do we really need to go back to the Sarlacc pit again? But again, it's like, oh, whoop, look, you get to see him drop his what is it? The Sonic. Oh my God,
that's the Sonic, the thing from his Slave One.
His bomb.
Which also Fennec is the one who did it. Actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, Fennec is the one that does it, but. That's a fan favorite. Everyone loves to see that bomb go off. So cool.
But I don't understand because he knows that it's still alive. He just got out of it.
Yeah.
So why would he get so close?
Because they wanted to drop that bomb.
Why?
Really? He should have just
that bomb off.
Exactly. He
and
should
just
went
went
over
after
it. Yeah, and just been like, all right, you know what? Drop this. Could you boom? All right, cool. Now let's go back in there and let's fish around.
They make Boba Fett dumb in the show.
They really do.
He's dumb. He's a chump.
He's a dude that's been all around the galaxy. He knows it. He's been through like all the scummiest parts of the universe, and it feels like he's just kind of a noob a lot of the times. Like he's just kind of getting bodied like left and right. Like what the fuck? I don't know.
Maybe he got brain damage from like being in the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
No, but he was in the Bacta tank for like 3 episodes, so he should have been recovered.
Just some of that acid leaked into his brain.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that episode was nice. It was cool. I did like seeing them come together. And I think and when episode 5 happened, and when I thought she actually died for a second, I was like, oh, what a shame. But I'm glad they brought her back.
Yeah. It's again like I feel like just a more linear story would have actually benefited the show a lot more.
Yeah.
Just to be like, look, let's just play things out as they happen.
Or maybe more episodes too.
Yeah, maybe.
7 episodes?
Honestly, I'm okay. I would have been fine with like even 6 episodes. Again, if they were just structured differently, if they were a little bit longer, like again, combining those first 2, like
well, but then again,
fine.
But then again, I wouldn't have been okay with 6 episodes if they're still keeping those 2 Mandalorian episodes.
That's true. That's a big problem too. Is because technically there's only
5 Boba Fett episodes.
Yeah, there's 5 episodes of Book of Boba Fett for real here. That's it. And then even then, it somehow feels bloated and like extended at times, but at the same time
also feels rushed.
Yeah, it feels rushed. It's like
the worst thing you could do on a show for pacing.
Yeah,
bloated and rushed at the same time.
Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, but it went everywhere.
Right,
so we get into
just personally, I would have been fine with 0 episodes.
Yeah, okay. But let's get into episode 5, which is the episode where it really takes off. It's called The Return of Mandalorian.
Hey, look, it's Mando. Yeah, Boba Fett does not even show his face in this one.
Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, not Robert Rodriguez. She did a fantastic job. I think this is like
awesome.
Like I was already really shocked because in season 1, I didn't like her episode that much with the 7 Samurai ripoff. It was okay, but season 2, she directed the introduction to Bo-Katan Kryze episode. Mm-hmm. But in this one, this is her best episode she directed yet.
Hell yeah.
Like her episode fight scenes, especially when you compare it to the season finale, when people fight, it's one, it looks a lot better. Two, it's dark, gritty. It's a little shaky cam, but enough where you can follow what's going on.
Yeah.
And the stakes are there, and you could clearly see the action beats play out from A, B, and C. Like this person is coming in from this direction, this person's coming this direction. Mando has a blade that he has to do it, but he also hurts himself in the process. Like all very digestible beats.
It also shows Mandalorian like slicing through a dude in half with the darksaber and then cutting off his head and putting it in a sack. Like, that's awesome. It's like, why is Mando doing this? Who is undoubtedly like one of the nicest dude in the galaxy. He's super nice compared to like most people here. And yeah, why is he doing that? And Boba Fett's like, no, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to be too mean, guys. Like, I don't know.
It never uses his jetpack.
Embarrassing. No, he does use his jetpack.
No, I'm talking about like from the first 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, no, he does.
Like during the chase, why does he let the Mos Espa go when he can just fly?
It's like, seriously, he forgets he has a jetpack a lot, especially in the finale.
He enters through the jetpack at the end of the chase.
Yeah,
it's whatever. That's enough bitching about that.
Yeah, we're not.
But this episode was great because it expanded the lore of the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah,
and then also the Star Wars in general. Like we see the Night of the Thousand Tears. What?
Freaking awesome! And we get to see the K2SOs, like basically Terminator droids going around the planet, just killing all the Mandalorians. Yeah, any survivors from this planet. Like basically, they show like when Din says like, oh, that planet is just left in glass. We get to see why. It's because they had like 10,000 like bombers just completely annihilate this planet. It's like, it's haunting. It's cinematically, it looked so fantastic. Good. Like all like the lighting, the silhouetting of like the K2SO droids and like those probe droids. Great. And
it made so much sense. If it was just regular stormtroopers who invaded Mandalore, they would have got their ass kicked.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, I just want to like brag too about the lighting and the setting in the episode too. Like when they go into the freezer section where like those dog alien people are.
Yes.
And he's killing them. Like it's got that cool blue look to it. It's very icy and dope. And then he goes into like that ring planet from like, or that ring station from like Halo.
Yeah, with the black background.
Which was fucking awesome. And you get to see the light shifting across as this thing is like rotating in space. Yes. You get to see the light moving through, and it's fucking awesome. It's such a cool setting to set this. This is fantastic. This is new. Why is Boba Fett only on Tatooine? What tie does he? No, actually, take that back. They do show why he has a tie to Tatooine eventually, but it feels like.
But that was a bad choice in my opinion. I think.
Yes, I do. I think it was such a bad choice. When he was having flashbacks to Kamino, I was like, "Are we gonna go to see Kamino? I would love to see Kamino." No,
I don't know which cinematographer. There's 3 cinematographers who worked on the show. Deed Kandi, who worked with Robert Zemeckis on Back to the Future, who framed Roger Rabbit, and she did Jurassic Park, and he worked with Ron Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard's dad. So I'm guessing that's her cinematographer.
Could be.
Yeah. But the other cinematographer, and there's the third one, but Paul Hewen, but he doesn't have much credits. But the other main one is David Klein, who, guess what? His main cinematography credits go to films worked with Kevin Smith. So, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy's. I feel like I know which cinematographer worked on which.
Yeah. I feel like I heard that like the Stranger in Strangeland was the other cinematographer, but whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll see. Okay, whatever.
But I think like that guy, or at least I'm guessing because what I see on the screen mimics the work that he's done before in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. It's the best looking, even better looking than episode 6, even though I enjoyed that episode.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for real.
And also, I think it added, it solved the plot hole a lot of people had with the Darksaber, the combat rules.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because they're like, how come, like, basically.
Sabine Wren gave the Darksaber to Bo-Katan Kryze.
Yep.
But they did not go into combat. But the armorer, mentioned how there is a curse element to it, where if you obtain the Darksaber without a combat, that there's a curse that attached to it, and you'll lead Mandalore to ruins. Which pretty much what happened.
Exactly.
And that actually now makes sense why Bo-Katan didn't take it last time.
Yeah.
Though at the same time thinking like, then why didn't she just
like, I'll fight you right now then?
Yeah. Unless she's just like, I understand you lost your kid and
she's like,
we'll come back in a year and fight.
Yeah, which would be fine. And also it's very Mandalorian like for them to just be like, all right, let's pick a time and place and then we'll meet up again and fight. But whatever.
And also, we got Paz Vizsla again. Or Paz Vizsla.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's around.
Voiced by Jon Favreau.
Yeah, himself. Yeah. He put himself, he was like, I'm the only survivor.
Which I kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of hated that plot point. Like, really, these Mandalorians were taken out by stormtroopers. And they all, actually, I don't know, do they all have true Beskar armor?
I mean, you would think so, but I
Because
don't know.
Because I understand why in the Night of Thousand Tears, because a lot of them didn't have true Beskar armor.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah.
like regular citizens just walking around. But no, these dudes are like hardcore.
Yeah, I'm saying
And they're all just taken out. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't buy that.
That's a little lame, but whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right, there's only 3 of us. There's only 3 fucking Mandalorians in the entire galaxy right now.
Or of the creed. Of
this creed. But in her eyes, the only 3 true
matters.
Mandalorians. Yeah. And then she's like, did you ever take your helmet off before? And he's like, well, yeah, there's like this one time. She's like, then you're not a Mandalorian anymore.
Can you imagine? I want to see her meet Bo-Katan, and she's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like Din could have just been like, well, you know what? I have the dark saber. I won it in combat. I'm literally
The leader of Mandalore.
Sorry, but
Well, at
I'm
least-
just gonna say no on you. I'm still a Mandalorian.
At least Ali Paz challenged it to combat.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Honestly, again, like I know, I'm
And it
just
makes
like,
sense that because
I'm ribbing
Vizsla was like he's a descendant of
of the first Mandalorian actually the
Mandalorian
first and
Jedi.
the only known like Jedi Mandalorian, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, so I was excited to see them fight and stuff. I was cool. I was happy that he like still took him out. Essentially, I like that like basically the dark saber is like it's heavy, it's 2-handed, is like a reference to what lightsabers were supposed to be like originally. Even just from the design aspect of like the saber having like that like tapered tip and everything. There's a lot to love. Where I'm just like, oh, I'm just nerding out here. It's so great. This whole episode is just like dripping with Star Wars lore and nerd culture that I'm just like I was so into, and that kind of carries over to then episode 6.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Naboo starfighter.
Oh yeah, dude, he gets a Naboo starfighter.
Which is fucking dope.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah. Wizard.
Yeah, he's so fucking-
There's not much I have to say about it. It just looked cool, and I like.
It really was awesome. Like
It's and it was prequel stuff. It's all prequel stuff. You know that's Filoni all over. He's like,
absolutely.
He's just like, okay, I actually enjoy the prequels. Plo Koon is his favorite fucking Jedi.
Yeah, and I love that it's kind of like consistent because like you see the Razor Crest that he has before, it's kind of Naboo-esque. Like it's got that
It's
like
round edges
silver
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just like, how about this one? Look, it's really cool. And he's just like, I don't want it. And she's like, no, trust me, it'll be really cool. And basically they mod the shit out of it and make it into like a muscle car. They literally have like the engine sticking out of the top. But I'm like, that's so badass. Like,
That's
I
so
love
awesome.
it. It looks so cool. And then he's got that extra like speed boost. So now he's basically in
Super
the fastest like starfighter in the galaxy. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh.
It's pure video game stuff. And I'm totally for it. I love it.
And Appa from Kim's Convenience comes back, returning as his role as an X-Wing fighter.
Yeah.
He comes in, he's like, hey, is that you? And he's like, no.
Yeah, I love that they carry that over from the other seasons of Mandalorian, where basically like the Rebel, well, I guess in this case the
New
Republic,
Republic,
New Republic starfighters stuff. They're essentially cops.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, you were speeding back there. Literally, they're just like, we're pulling you over because you were speeding. And he's like, oh, like, hey, aren't you that one guy? I don't know. And just boom, just takes off. Oh,
And
so
I love,
fun.
honest to most cops, or even like Leia's a nurse, and she's been telling me too, like this paperwork is shit. It's like,
Yeah.
do you really want to report this paperwork? Which I love. I do love that part.
They're like, fuck it. I didn't see anything. Whatever.
But not episode 6, which is probably a lot of people's favorite episode. I actually, for me, they're even. Actually, no, I probably prefer Dave Filoni's, but From a Desert Comes a Stranger, directed by Dave Filoni, written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Oh gosh, this episode, I was on the verge of nerd tears. Miles will make fun of me if he was. Thank God he wasn't there.
There's so much going on. Again, it's same thing where it's just like, it's
some of the best
dripping.
Star Wars hour ever.
Yeah, it's like, all right, here we go. We get to go see Luke training Grogu again, like on this like green
with the
planet.
backpack.
Yeah, fantastic. Makes sense. We get to see those little droids building his like new school or whatever. We get to see
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka, yeah, she's there. She's like,
And she talks to Luke.
yeah, she's hanging out with Luke,
And she even says, like your father. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to have a conversation soon?
yeah, but they don't. But that's fine.
They saved that for the series.
Yeah. And then they have like Grogu having flashbacks of Order 66. We get to see a bunch of Jedi getting slaughtered by the 501st. Fantastic.
Yes.
Fucking awesome.
Fucking Darth Vader's death fist.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like now there's speculation on which Jedi saved Grogu. And it's like thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know. We really did get to see most of the masters just like died like
well, I
in
mean,
terrible ways.
there's two theories going on. It's either the librarian that was in the Clone Wars. Yeah, because she's
Don't mess
also
with the
like
librarian.
she's also like highly skilled herself.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she is.
Or the other one is that because technically this takes place sometime after Anakin, fucked over Mace Windu's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're saying it might be Mace Windu. You know what I mean? Who saved Grogu, and he's the reason why he hasn't been here. He's been seen for a long time is because he was just taking care of Grogu.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I actually would love that. Not gonna lie, because that actually makes sense, like time wise, timeline, and it would clear up the plot holes they bring because they're gonna bring that Mace Windu. You know they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think more than anything else, I think if they do Obi-Wan, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, Darth Vader's going to be in it, like, and they would love to see Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader again, but it's like, no. I never want to see them interact on that show because it would break the original trilogy Star Wars and how the significant their meeting again was. It's like, I don't want to do that. But
what they are. They actually said they are though. Yeah, they are. That it's confirmed they're going to fight again though. Because remember they on D23 they were. So people, for audio only listeners, Ron has currently completely collapsed from his chair and he's getting himself back up to the microphone to finish the podcast. But Kathleen Kennedy said it'll be the greatest rematch of the century or something.
Why the fuck are they fighting again? That doesn't make any sense.
Kathleen Kennedy doesn't understand Star Wars.
That doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. He's like, I haven't seen you since that one time where you.
Oh, I mean, he has said, I haven't seen you. It's been a long time.
I know. He's like,
specific words.
Last time we met, you were the apprentice. And no, it's like, now I am the master. Or whatever the fuck. I'm butchering that. Oh, God. Oh, that's so disappointing. But my point, what I was going to try to say, what I would rather see
is Mace Windu versus Darth Vader.
Exactly. And by the way, there's a YouTube video out there. I'm sure if you Google or just like type into YouTube, you'll find it. But there's a fan-made version of that, and it's so good.
Oh, wait. Star Wars Theory made like...
Yes, Star Wars Theory.
He previewed... Well, they haven't fought yet, but they previewed. He also made the Darth Vader fan film.
Hell yeah.
He's the best. He's my favorite Star Wars channel.
Fantastic. But yeah, Star Wars Theory and their Mace Windu Darth Vader stuff, like it looks freaking awesome. I can't wait to see their next video.
Oh yeah, that's a teaser for his episode 2 Darth Vader live action film thing.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I would much rather see that in the actual, like, you know, the Obi-Wan show. It's like, oh, Mace Windu survived. Fine, I can get behind that. So did Darth Maul. So did Boba Fett. So did whoever else, I'm sure. So did Max Rebo. They can't seem to die.
I'm so glad Max Rebo's alive, by the way.
Oh, he'll never die. What does he know? What does he know? He's always conveniently surviving these explosions that kill everyone else.
But I think that would be the most satisfying if it's if it is Mace Windu. That also makes the most sense.
Yeah, exactly. Thematically, like I know
and he's also Yoda's best friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He is.
Yoda barely has friends.
I was like trying to think. I'm like, who would be closer to Yoda? And it's like, I mean, him and Obi-Wan are pretty cool, but like, no, I think him and Mace are definitely like they were just during like the Clone Wars. 2 Jedis. Yeah. Like, let's be honest, you know. Anyway, no, it's like so. Yes, I would rather see that happening. Him meeting up with, you know, going head to head with Darth, and just like now that like he's full Sith dark side Darth Vader versus like Mace, who's pissed off as hell.
That would be fun. But then he'll die though, I think.
No, yeah, he will, and I'm fine with seeing that. I mean, when we saw, you know, Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan, we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
like it's like Obi-Wan's still around.
Yeah,
or was.
Well, I'm pretty sure he might show up. I don't think he'll fight Darth Vader. I think because of
and that would have been crazy too. Sorry, just thinking that like Darth Vader would have like offed both Obi-Wan and Mace Windu. I mean, technically that's already what we think of.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that was
cheap shot in
the
Mace
Emperor.
Windu.
Yeah, he was a real cheap shot, honestly.
Oh, to be honest, even if he fought again, it's still a cheap shot because Mace Windu's like his arm is all
missing a
fucked
hand.
up.
I mean,
he's missing. He's electrified. On top of that, he fell off a giant building.
I mean, so is Darth Vader. He was burned alive. His throat.
But he has the
lungs
entire
scorched.
resources of an empire to rebuild him. Who does Mace Windu have?
That's true.
Yeah.
He has the Force. Okay, never underestimate the Force.
All right, back to this. Because I'll mention Mace again in season 2 speculations.
Yeah,
that's it called. So episode 6, other things that happen. Yeah, we talked to Goku training and stuff like that. The deepfake is much better on Luke, by the way, this time.
Oh, yeah.
Way better.
Another YouTuber was able to step in, literally stepped up to Lucasfilm.
Yeah, they hired him.
Yeah. He was like, I could do this better. And they were like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, to be fair, in the first one, they were still developing that deepfake technology.
Yeah.
So he was hired as like consultant, and also like they trained him, and it was a whole thing. Like, and to be fair, I think he used the deepfake on top of the work they already did, which is a lot easier than doing it from scratch.
Yeah. No, still very impressive. And that's like one of those real life feel good stories.
Yeah.
You know, some dude who was just like, you know, he put in those hours, and there he is. Look at him. Congratulations, bro.
Good job. And now we have to debate, do we have your deepfake Luke or Sebastian Stan? I'm conflicted. What's it called?
Let us know what you think. Honestly, I'm curious. Like, do you guys rather have them keep deep fake Luke throughout, like, you know, this like Star Wars universe, or would you rather them hire like Sebastian Stan to play Mark Hamill's like or Luke Skywalker?
Because they look remarkably alike.
Yeah, they look very much alike. The biggest difference, of course, would be the voice, unless they do like a voice swappy thing. Which
I wouldn't want that to.
yeah,
that'd be weird.
They do that later in this episode.
Yes. So that whole sequence and having a reverse and having Luke saying never give up, even though, you know, completely different from Last Jedi. It was nice. I really did like that.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I enjoyed it. Again, it didn't feel like fan servicey because like the fact that it's like this is part of the story that they've already established.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Grogu being from like the beginning of the show, seeing his growth and eventually him being trained by like the only surviving Jedi that we know of, at least in the galaxy. It makes complete sense. The whole point of season 2 is he's like on a quest to find the Jedi, which they end up kind of undoing in the next one, but we'll get to that. But the way this episode ends is fascinating. You know, of course, like Grogu gets his little tiny chainmail mithril mithril armor, especially made for him, tailored to his tiny little body, and then he puts it and then Luke gives him the choice. Do you want to be a Jedi? Do you want to be
with Yoda's lightsaber, by the way?
Yeah,
they retconned that from the comics. Because there's a comic book that had the Empire burn down Yoda's lightsaber, which was lame, by the way.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, it leaves you questioning, like, you know, how'd they get the lightsaber? Like, where did that come from? Last time we saw it was was in Coruscant, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's possible that he could have just
yeah, it's possible, but
how many years and stuff like that? That's possible.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Is all I'll say.
It makes sense.
It's fine. I'm not like it's just a tiny nitpick, but just a little weird. But whatever.
I would say it's like said, it's part of their soul, the weapon.
Yeah, it's anything's possible in the Force.
Yeah. Okay, so we didn't fucking talk about Cad fucking Bane.
Oh yeah, at the very end of the episode. Well, they established at the beginning of the episode they show Cobb Vanth shooting off the 2 Pike dudes, which is like really
it's so
cool.
dope. For any Deadwood fans, it's great to see Timothy Oliphant do cowboy shit.
Yeah, he's like, this is my town or whatever. He's like, you know, whatever I say goes. And then he just bam, they just established like, yeah, this dude is a quick draw, but nothing compared to Cad Bane.
Yeah, consider it a tax for trespassing. Oh yes. Oh, and then for other Deadwood Easter egg is the bar owner of Freetown is played by William Earl Brown, who is also a Deadwood castmate.
Yeah,
which is great.
And then they have like basically they told Mando, they're like, hey dude, we need some more recruits. So he's like, all right. So he goes to Freetown, tries to recruit them. They're like, hey, not really our problem. Even though, I mean, it is, but whatever.
Yeah, he changes his mind at the end. He's like, yeah, you know, they're kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth gets shot by, which, by the way,
motherfucking Bane.
Cad Mother Bane. And then Mother Bane. But that sequence was super well done.
It's like one of the best character introductions in all of Star Wars, honestly. They're just like, you just see squinting out in the distance. They're like, who the hell is that? And then out of like, you know, the heat waves coming out of the desert is fucking Cad Bane. Live action debut, and he looks like a boss. Sounds like a boss because he's got the same voice actor.
Which is
I cannot remember his name in the moment.
No, it's it's Corey Burton.
Oh yeah,
Corey Burton,
legendary voice actor. He's been all over the place, but I love the way that they show him, they portray him. There is that like slight like culture shock a bit where it's like, oh, this is how he looks in real life. It's of course different to the Clone Wars art because like everyone looks
like
completely
live action.
Different. Yeah, live action version.
And also he's supposed
great.
to be 70 plus,
yeah.
Which in his species standard is like 100 years plus. He's an ancient guy.
He's way old. But I mean, they have it where it counts. He's got the hat, he's got the eyes, he's got the blue color skin, he's got the 2 blasters on his side, the trench coat. Oh, so good. He just immediately whips out one gun because he doesn't even need both and just shoots Cad Bane, shoots the poor deputy, just lights him the fuck up.
I know, like 8 times.
Yeah. He just like da-da-da-da-da-dum with his gun, which sounds awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Sound effects on point. So good.
The only downside is when I watched it, I was like, 1, why didn't Dave Filoni come earlier? And 2, they should have established him as a threat like early on in the season.
Yes, dude, that's like episode 2 or the end of episode 1 kind of thing.
Like he's the one who took out the Tusken Raiders or something like that.
Yeah, it's because again that leads to the major issues for the finale because there are quite a few.
Yeah, let's just get into it. The finale, it sucked. I hated it. I really hated the finale.
It's just so frustrating. Like this whole show, like there's just parts of it that I was like,
Directed by
okay,
Robert Rodriguez.
like I'm okay with the concept of what's happening here, but man, is the execution just awful. Like, I don't know. Sorry, Boba riding a Rancor, cool.
Super dope.
Yeah,
Super
I'm like,
dope.
I'm all for that. Like, I would love to see him do that. And they kind of, I mean, they
I
established
mean, it's stupid,
earlier.
but
It's
because
stupid.
he has
and
a
it's
slave
silly.
one ship.
Yeah.
He could just fly.
What happened to his ship? Why isn't he using his ship?
They had a whole episode dedicated to him getting the ship back.
They
That's
literally-
episode 4.
They literally show in episode 4 him wiping out an entire motorcycle gang with his ship, who turns out to be innocent, by the way, which is a little hilarious.
But he has no remorse. He just goes.
Yeah, at no point is he like, oh, I can't believe I killed all those guys. Like, they didn't even do anything to me. No, he just killed them. He first jumped them, beat them up, stole their bikes, and then wipes them out, like shoots them for no reason in the middle of the desert. The most...
That's the most Boba Fett thing, actually.
Exactly. It's like why... Sorry, that was the best part of Boba. Yeah, that was his best thing he did the whole show.
I even like the look he did when he was shooting them. He was enjoying it. Like, yes.
He's like, yeah, dude, because again, he's a cold-blooded killer.
He's a cold-blooded killer that worked for the Empire, and he immediately shoots the deputy 8 times.
Yeah. He's like, but that wasn't cold-blooded though. I mean, you know.
And yeah, the cold-blooded guy, like a panther, like a panther. All right, so enough with the meme talk, but let's get back to the finale. Yeah, I really didn't like the finale. I think what's it called? It's not From the Desert Who Called From a Stranger. I think it's what's it called? You continue talking. Let me look up the title.
No, yeah. So this episode starts off with the
in the name of in the name of honor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
like a decent concept. They're just like, okay, let's gather all of our resources, put them in one place. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna fight against the syndicate. Cool. We've seen that story done many times before. That's fine. I'm okay. Let's see how they play
I
it
thought it
out
was gonna
here.
be a Seven Samurai type of thing or whatever, where like they're all set up at different points of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and strategically.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, by the way, it's super strategic, that film, which is Seven Samurai, by the way.
Yep.
People downplay like how much setup there was for the final battle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
And this one is like, okay, Chrysanthemum, you go to that place.
yeah,
No
you guys just
instructions.
walk around. If you see anything, let me know.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, Mos Vespa just there.
That's how you get your Gamorreans killed, okay?
I know, by the way, super sad. They got done dirty.
Yeah, they really did. They just
I
got
actually felt
pushed off a fucking cliff, which, what?
I was they're Gamorrean. Are you kidding me? They
Gamorrean
could-
guards are terrifying, okay? If you ever played Battlefront 2 and you're like fighting in Jabba's palace and a Gamorrean comes bursting through
You're
the
gonna
doors,
die.
you're like, oh god! And then it charges at you. Terrifying. And
I know
this show,
they make
what?
they make them look like a bitch because it's Luke Skywalker, but it's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. In Return of the Jedi, they didn't really do much. But again, because they're getting punked by a master Jedi, not just by some dudes with like sticks who push you off a cliff. Like, what? Like, I would have rather seen like them take out like 3-4 Pike Syndicate dudes like by themselves. Like,
Yeah, and get
each.
stabbed or
Show
something
me
like
why
that.
these dudes were the closest bodyguards to fucking Jabba the Hutt. But no, instead they're just like, they just get pushed off a cliff.
I know, and I feel sad. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, one, I was angered by like how
Yeah.
done dirty
I saw they were doing it and I was like, don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh, you're doing it. Like, I was like, is it just going to be one? No, there's, it's both of them. Both of them dead.
They kept them, but they got rid of the Gamorrean guards, but they kept the Mos Espa Vespas.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about them? I'd rather have them die, and at the end, the Gamorrean guards come in and they like, let's say
Yeah.
they're riding something and or like speed bikes, and start chopping up the fucking syndicates.
Something. No, they just like, you see like 2 of the Vespa people get like shot and that's like
That was
kind of
I was
it.
clapping every
And-
time.
Yeah, really. I was like, oh, sweet. All right, cool. Like, we do need some body count here, so like that's
Yeah.
okay. And then I swear I thought they were gonna kill off Black Chrysanthemum for a second when they showed like
I
all
would have
those
been pissed. Yeah.
yeah, all those like sorry, the
The,
people
the
that are like
the boss's race.
yeah, they're like climbing on top of him, hugging him, I guess. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they were just like jumping on top of his body. I was like, they're just dogpiling him. You're going to dogpile a fucking Wookiee. Dogpile a Wookiee that's like twice the size of a regular Wookiee, which is already huge. Like, you're just going to all jump on him. You had knives in your hands. Stab him, something. I mean, I don't want him to die, but like, why? What's your end game
logistically
here,
accurate,
dude?
you know
What
what I
are
mean?
you trying to accomplish here? Are you trying to kill him? Or
hug
you
him
just
to
want to
death.
like, yeah, exactly. You want to kill him with kindness. What is happening?
And yeah, that's pretty much what happens. He somehow gets out fine, and then he comes and he gets shot like 30 different times,
Yeah.
and then immediately heals afterwards.
Yeah, he heals and then he's injured. He's healed and then he's injured. It's like, okay. But I mean, again,
There's a lot of stuff.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
here.
like, it even bothered me. Like the whole like legit, like it made everybody look really stupid because I'm like, if you know all the families, they even talk about the families might betray us, right? If you know all the families, the Pike Syndicate is coming to attack you, like you should be thinking like, okay, Sophie Thatcher's character, right? Like the Mos Espa Drash, Scad, go on the roofs. You're the snipers. You have your eye. Why don't you get on a vantage point so you can see what's going on? Report back, right?
Yeah.
Or you know what, Black Chrysanthemum, also get on a roof. You had that long motherfucking rifle. Get on the roof. Look, or at least hide in some area or vantage point, right? Or something.
Did they establish why they were hiding out in the blown out, like?
No, do you remember
theater?
what Drash said?
What?
We must protect the streets of Mos Espa.
Really, you're just bringing the fights to the streets. Literally,
Exactly.
the streets would have been fine if you were in the palace.
Because
then
they're not
they
here
would
to
have
destroy Mos
focused-
Espa.
Yeah,
they're here to fuck Boba Fett.
Exactly. They're there to kill you and to wipe out your people who are now scattered throughout the streets of Mos Espa.
So more
If you-
damage.
Exactly. There's way more collateral damage than if you had taken the fight to the palace. It would have made more sense if like somebody was like, hey, we should fight him here. We should like try to get everyone involved. And then Boba is like, no. We're just going to get way more people killed than we need to. We just need to take this fight away from everybody else. Show people that I'm trying to help them by getting them away from all of this violence. Let's go to the palace because it's a fucking palace that is fortified with the gigantic door that is meant to keep people out, like not just some blown out nightclub. Like that's where the final fight's going to take place. But I
No, it's
I
stupid.
digress.
No. There's no excuse for this. And what's even worse is that Boba Fett is like a chump and he's stupid and he agrees.
yeah, he's
He
like,
agrees.
"Oh,
Like, yeah, okay, I understand.
that makes sense."
No, it doesn't.
It's like no, not
Ming
really.
Na Wen was no.
if you
Ming
think
Na
about
Wen's
that.
Fennec Shan was like, why?
Yeah.
She's the only person who's smart here.
Yeah, really. Again, it's annoying because like Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, he's usually been like on point. We saw that whole episode with him with the first Bryce.
Oh, he
Bryce
also
Dallas
talks
Howard
about how
episode.
stupid it is too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like, let's not do this. And then at the end, he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna die here.
Well, no,
And
I
he's like, are you
understand.
sure you want to leave? And he's like, no, that makes sense. Like, I'll die here,
But
which is fine
That's
for
his
him.
religion.
Yeah, for his character, for his motivation, for the kind of person that he is, that makes complete sense. He's like, no, I'm pretty much honor bound to die fighting here. I agreed I would, so I'm gonna do it. And it's like, okay, we've seen him do that like many times, so that's fine by me. But then the fact that they're just like, let's rush him. Just go outside. Let's not use like, I don't know, any of our advantages. I mean, well, they use the jetpacks.
No,
for a
but then
little
why
bit.
did they land?
I don't know.
Why did they land? They weren't able to shoot him while they were in the fucking sky.
Yeah, no, really. Just like jump from like rooftop to rooftop if you really want to. Again, I'm sorry, I keep referencing Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
if
no,
you've-
that's fine. That's a much better version of this entire show.
Yeah, if you've played Battlefront 2, there's like you can play on Mos Eisley like as Boba Fett and Jango Fett. And one of the best things to do, because there's nothing but like, Jedi Masters and Sith Lords running around, is like you stay on top of rooftops and you're basically just sniping people from like far away and shooting rockets at them. And then they're just like, they basically have to like, they can't really do anything, or they have to like chase after you. That's way more effective. That's my point. Is it
How
just-
are Battlefront 2 players? I did that shit when I was 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Better strategy.
It's like the best. That's the best
Boba Fett.
strategy. You basically stay up in the air and you shoot people, and your jetpack runs out a bit, so you land from like a distance, and you're just picking people off. And it's like they could have easily been doing that. I didn't see Pike people with like with jetpacks. Like I don't know, whatever.
It's real. Even though the sequence was dope, it was stupid. It was really stupid.
Yeah,
And
it's the problem is it started getting boring just after a
Because
while.
it's blah 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 blah. That's the entire like
Yeah.
last 30 minutes. Blah 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 blah, and that's it. Fennec Shan though, I give her props. Once again, smart. She's like, to be fair, Boba also recommended it, but Fennec was like, I'll just go kill the heads.
Yeah, she's like, where are they? I'll just go kill them. Like, this is what we should have done at the beginning. Like, they're like, I think they're over there. She's like, okay, cool. Bye. I'll be back once this is over, once I've finished the job.
Smart one. She's like, avoid all this trouble. You
Yeah,
know?
she's like, I'm just gonna go kill him, and then she does. But which again, we'll get into later. But
Which
like
I think is also
story
a fault.
wise, yeah, it's a
There's
complete
no dramatic
fault.
satisfaction.
Absolutely, it's like, well, I mean, we might as well get into it now. The point is like,
Oh, the Pikes didn't get kill the Tuskens.
Yes.
Not the Viking.
exactly. So Boba was like super broken, of course, because basically his new family gets wiped out by who he thinks are the bikes, right? But it's like the bike bike
The
riders.
Viking, yeah.
The bike gang. But no, it was actually the Pikes who did it, and they framed the bikers. And it's like, oh no, that's sad. Do we get to see him have revenge or basically
No.
do anything? It's like, no, because that was her, Finnick, who has no connection,
attachment.
just no reason to be there. It's like, okay, instead we get to see his final showdown between him and Cad Bane, which is like, again, with this show, just with the context of this show, is completely unsatisfying. Like, I understand they have a history, and then Clone Wars and everything else.
Which they only mention with one line.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm not a kid anymore. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, all right, well, you going to fight? Like, let's fight. And then they have their fight.
For a show that loves flashbacks so much, why didn't you have a flashback?
No, really. And that's why we're saying, like, that he should have shown up, like, the end of episode 1 or episode 2 to have him being, like, that overarching threat. Have him just being like, okay, shit, Cad Bane is a big deal. Why can't Boba Fett just go in and guns blazing and kill these dudes? Because Cad Bane is there, and that is terrifying because he is a big fucking deal.
He took out Obi-Wan, like, in a one-on-one fight.
Yeah, like he's
Well, not kill him, but just, like, beat him.
yeah, he's the OG of bounty hunter gangsters in the galaxy, and he's awesome. So then the fact that he's there basically keeping Boba at distance would have made way more sense. And him being, again, that overarching villain, having him be the one that kills the Raiders because they're just like, hey, can you kill the Raiders for us? And he's like, okay, sure. He does that. That would have been totally fine.
And there's emotional satisfaction
exactly
to Boba.
Just on a pure
Dan.
story standpoint, his character would have had that. It's just, but no, instead stripped of us and pretty much in every way because we don't really get any kind of real established relationship between Cad and Boba in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just they have their final fight, and everyone's just like, "Oh, so these guys have a history? Cool." Like,
It ends immediately,
Yeah.
which is so dissatisfying too, because it's like couple shots, a stab, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. The unfinished Clone Wars episode where it was a standoff between Cad Bane and Boba, which also explains why Cad Bane has a metal plate on his head, and also why Boba has a dent in his helmet.
yeah, because they faced off way back in the day on Tatooine, I think.
Yeah,
and then they basically had their their standoff. Bam! They shoot each other both in the head. They both go down, and then both basically come back a little bit worse for the wear, but they technically both survived, and it's fine, totally fine with that. But no, in this one. And in a way, I'm okay with it because I do like that he fights him with it, like that staff and everything to show that, like, oh,
but
look,
it would have
grown.
Been more satisfying if he killed the Tusken Raiders. But ironically,
Cad
Bane has been killed by the thing that he massacred.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been great.
Wow, writing.
Yeah, I know. That takes forethought. That takes planning.
Yeah, but John's too busy with Lion King 3.
But no, really though, like that would have been because it is cool to see that like he's grown as a person since the last time they interacted. He has gained these new skills specifically from these people that were eventually wiped out by the people that Cad was working for. So it's like, that's cool. There's so much seeds and foundation for something really powerful there, and it just fell so flat.
Also, his whole strategy was like, oh, how are you going to get Boba Fett out to, for line of fire? And it's like, oh, I think I have a strategy, which I think was trying to tell him about Tusken Raiders. But what's the point? He's already outside.
Yeah.
He's already outside.
It's not like, he doesn't really add anything. Adds nothing, literally, than just telling him that the Pikes killed the Tuskens, which again adds nothing because it doesn't get resolved. There's no kind of sense of satisfaction from that in any way because they were trying to kill the Pikes anyways. So it doesn't make any sense. There's no moment where Boba sees them and is like, okay, you know what? Flamethrower time or something. Yeah, exactly. Gonna make some fish fillets, whatever, something cool. But no, instead he's just angry again, a little more angry.
There's theories because I guess apparently there's people are saying that a beeper goes off his location, and you know how he has that little robot buddy.
Who?
Cad Bane has a robot buddy.
Oh yeah,
that takes him out. Apparently that's how he survived the first time. The robot buddy brought the ship over, carried him, and he fixed his. He has some advanced medical equipment in his ship.
Cool.
So he survived worse. So technically he could survive this.
I totally believe that he would survive. Does it make any sense that Boba Fett would let him survive in that particular circumstance? No.
Well, based on Clone Wars, yes, because that's his dad, essentially.
I know.
But in the show, no.
But I'm just saying, yeah, exactly, because you don't get any sense of that. The fact that this guy basically raised Boba Fett, the person that the reason why he really became a bounty hunter, he channeled him into becoming one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy, being trained by the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. That's so significant, and we get none of it in the show.
And there's even that extra like father on father thing because Cad Bane was not raised, but everything he learned about being a bounty hunter was from Django.
Again, so badass because Django was even the fact that he's got like the 2 guns on his like side and everything. There's so much.
That's why he has
so much wasted potential. But they'll probably bring him back. But it's like I feel like they already shot their shot. You know,
if they bring him back, I do not want him back unless Dave Filoni's touching it.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I do not want him back unless Dave Filoni's touching it.
Put him on Ahsoka, dude.
Yes,
put him in the Mandalorian season 3
because him and Ahsoka they have history.
I would rather see him face off with Din Djarin at this point than Boba, which is sad.
Yeah,
but like I feel like they would just somehow have like better story chemistry at this point. Like they have like no connection at all. But like I trust in Filoni that he would find a way to make them like work and have them be compelling. Yeah, but we'll see.
And also, I guess we talk about. I mean, I don't have much to say about just Grogu comes back and bonds with Mando, which is cool. I like that. But I mean, it kind of devalues the season 2 thing.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with it, is that it feels like everything leading up to the finale of season 2, which was so big and such a sad, like, touching moment. And again, there's like the whole point of like him having to give up essentially his son to Luke to go get trained to be a Jedi. And it's kind of just undone in this episode.
I'd rather have this undone in a Mandalorian season 3. Like, give us a couple of episodes of absence.
Exactly. Because I just don't want it to then like, okay, Mando season 3 is going to start off and like Grogu's back, and it's like, what? But like the big finale of season 2, like, it's like, no, don't worry about it. Like you can watch those episodes too, but like he came back because it's cool. Like he decides that he wants to be a Mandalorian or foundling rather than be a Jedi. It's like, okay, I don't know. It kind of feels like that, like he just went on Jedi summer camp for a bit. Yeah. And now he's back and he's just like
relearning. I guess because remember they set up he's just remembering his training.
Yeah.
So I guess he'll just be remembering his training.
Because they show that he's more like, he has more force powers now. He's stronger and everything. He has like, he force jumped, which was adorable.
Yeah.
But like,
I also love the fact that Luke is like using his 2 fingers to force up.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about him like levitating all the frogs and stuff.
That was awesome. Which is great. I love seeing really Luke's power levels,
Yeah. It's like, it's not that crazy that he's just lifting frogs, but it's still fun.
But it's not just frogs, it's all the frogs.
Yeah, it's like, remember when he was struggling to lift rocks? And like now it's like, nah, dude.
But didn't he literally lift like an entire spaceship out of a bog already?
No, yes.
I'm just saying.
Technically,
that's Yoda did it.
Oh,
and then
Yoda
Luke did that in Rise of Skywalker, which I no longer consider canon now, because you could actually ignore that and it doesn't affect anything else.
Wait, Luke does that in Rise of Skywalker?
Oh yeah, because you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, like full disclosure, I refused to watch it.
Yeah.
It's really
came out.
I told you everything that happened, so essentially you watched it.
I haven't either. I was mistaken about. I thought that Luke did it, not Yoda.
Yeah, well, Luke did do it in Rise though. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Okay, well, we need to wrap this episode up.
Okay, so that's okay. Honestly, enough of the bitching. Yeah. Oh god, and the ending with the Mos Espa Vespa and Black Chrysanthemum is like, why does he get a melon but I don't? Oh my god, melons.
It's like, stop reminding me of what I hated about this show.
Okay.
But then they flash forward to, they show, well, again, an adorable scene.
Also, the last scene is not even with Boba.
No.
It's with fucking Mando
exactly.
and Grogu.
It's like, I'm sorry. We're sorry about that. Here's a little cute moment with Grogu.
I was going to ask you questions about should there be another season? Or no, would you fix it and how would... We already talked about how we would fix it. So, okay, let's go season 2 speculation. First, should there even be one?
No,
I don't think so. I think at this point, if you're going to have Boba Fett back, I wouldn't even mind, like, I know we're criticizing this show for like basically just like really just shoehorning in like 2 episodes of Mandalorian season 3 in here for like seemingly no reason, like, but I wouldn't mind like one spin-off episode in like Mandalorian or something just devoted to Boba, like him being an actual crime boss, him doing something really cool, because I know he's not done. He's gonna come back. All these shows are gonna be super connected, which is kind of frustrating, a little annoying, but like,
no, I actually kind of like that because at least it's with a plan.
Right? Yeah.
At least the Obi-Wan show's not going to be super connected because he's dead by the time this happens.
We never know. There might be something established in Obi-Wan and the character.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. Yeah, there's going to be some dude that makes Obi-Wan's like lawn chair. And then he's gonna be a reoccurring character.
All right, so okay, I also don't think there should be, but if there is, apparently Tamora Morrison, who I love Tamora Morrison. I also love that he's so passionate about this role, and I bet you he's broken up about the fact that 2 out of 7 of his episodes are dedicated to not him.
The Book of Boba Fett minus 2 chapters.
Yeah. So apparently he said that like, because apparently he also thinks Mace Windu saved Grogu.
Nice.
And he said, if Mace Windu's still alive, I would actually love. And he said, because I want more character development. He seems like there's a subtle shade.
Nice.
Sorry, I want more character development. It would be nice to see Boba Fett actually resolve that aspect of his life and his chapter, going after his father's killer.
That would be pretty cool. Honestly, I'd be on board with that because, again, like the best parts of this show, because there was some pretty great stuff on just the Boba Fett stuff. The best part of it was his actual character development, which is the only time we saw that was episode 2. But again, I would love to see him emotionally, like, like engage and going after somebody and like whatever, like that'd be cool, but like have an actual stake in the game. But in this one it just feels like he's kind of floating around. But no, yeah, I would like to see him go against Mace. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be very satisfying.
That's it. I can't think of anything else in season 2 because that's the only thing that would excite me for season 2. You?
No, that's it. I think that's it. Yeah,
that's it. I have nothing else to say. This show has broke me. Oh, last question: should Filoni just take over the entire Star Wars universe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should he just replace Kathleen Kennedy? I mean, maybe have somebody like maybe Jon Favreau could be there as a business mind type of guy. But
yeah. Jon Favreau, like I think, he look. This is nothing against Kathleen Kennedy in terms of how she is like effective as a producer. I just think that just in Star Wars, she just fundamentally doesn't understand what really makes it a great Star Wars story, what makes it tick. And I think the best kinds of producers can bring in those people who do understand. And to her credit, she has had Filoni do a lot of the work from like the Disney Plus shows, which is great. But I think he should just completely
after
take
much
over.
backlash, though.
Really?
Yeah, it was after much backlash.
Oh yeah. So yeah, basically bring in Filoni, just have him be the creative, like a showrunner behind the entire Disney Plus Star Wars universe. Like just let him do it.
Yeah, and Jon Favreau gets the directors. He's good at that. He's good at gathering talent.
Yeah.
And he could write too, but just a little help.
Yeah, because Filoni was like he was doing animated stuff first. I mean, again, it took him a while to really kind of get a good handle on that. I mean, obviously we see where Clone Wars eventually became, which is great, but so a bit of that learning curve, and I think hopefully Boba Fett is just a sign of like growing pains. There's just like, ooh, we fucked that one up, huh? Like let's not let that happen again. They're like, we're so great with Mandalorian. We took a step backwards, but we can get through this. We learned our lesson. We're gonna work, better with the future. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Obi-Wan.
Hot take right here. Do you think that they might have intentionally made the Book of Boba Fett not as good as it could have been?
Because that makes no
sense. No. Listen to me.
Let's hear what he says.
Listen to me
Let's
right here.
Says.
Okay. Because after the success of The Mandalorian, right, they knew that they kind of struck gold with that. And they knew that no matter what happened with the Book of Boba Fett, it was going to be somewhat disappointing. But by pre-disappointing people enough, they can make the Obi-Wan series good.
I like this. This like the Disney Plus.
Oh, that's my witch laugh. Okay, no,
I mean, you make the Obi-Wan good in comparison by making this a little bit worse.
My witch laugh answered everything Miles said. That's all I have to say. Okay,
this is quite the conspiracy theory.
Final ratings. You go. Oh, you know what? I'll just say mine up front. I was going to say shit bucket, but then I was talking about I realized it's not.
It's really not.
It's not. So I'll say, honestly, I can't say bargain bin because it's too well made.
Yeah.
Streaming with ads.
I was going to say streaming with ads as well. Because there's
the most frustrating streaming with ads.
Exactly. It's what it wouldn't be frustrating if it was all bad. You know what I mean? If it was all bad, then it'd be like, fuck this show. I don't care, whatever. But the fact that there is a lot of good stuff in here, there's seedlings for what could have developed into a fantastic show. And the fact that they're like 2 of some of the best episodes of Star Wars, anything is like it makes it hurt so much more, and it's annoying because they have such a damn good introduction to fucking Cad Bane, and then just kind of waste them in the next episode, and it's just like I'm so frustrated. So so I'm giving it a streaming with ads because there's a lot in here I like. Like for example, we didn't even mention the practical effects.
Yeah.
And a lot of like the fact that they have like a real giant Rancor head.
Yes.
Like that's like awesome. Like I was like so up for that. I was like, this is great. Like they built a Rancor. That's awesome. I love to see that. But then again, it's like for what? Because you can like King Kong his way up a stupid building tower for no reason.
So then King Kong versus Mechagodzilla.
Because they're like, oh shit, Grogu's here. He's got to do something. So they haven't put him to sleep. That's literally the only thing he does. I mean, he rips out a joint at one point, but again, pointless. Doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know. Like why didn't Din just like stab the shit out of him with his dark saber? I know I'm sure he probably didn't want to kill this thing, but it's like it's not around. Whatever, man. I'm sorry. I'm going back into a spiral here.
All right. Same thing. Stream with ads. Last thing. Robert Rodriguez. Go back to Spy Kids. Go back to mariachi films. The franchise, and go back to make another Alita Battle Angel. That's where you're good at.
Yeah, really. It's like go make some live action anime stuff. That may sound like a slight, but I feel like
it fits.
It fits your style better. Star Wars, I'm sorry, it's not your thing. You'd think he'd be really good at it because he likes.
He was good for that
Western.
One episode.
Yeah, he did the one great episode with the introduction to Boba Fett, the reintroduction. But it was like, it's just like no. I'm sorry, man. I just no. Don't do Star Wars anymore.
All right, thank you guys for another episode Half a Clue TV review. Do you guys agree with our thoughts? Leave a like, comment. I want to see your speculation. Yeah. Should there be another season?
Is Cad Bane still alive?
He is. He has to be, or I'm in denial.
Honest, yeah. He's too big. There's too much potential there.
Filoni will see this. Let me course correct this.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Yes, robot guts.